and yards per attempt. So he leads the NFL in completion percentage, and he is chucking it downfield. So also New England's run game, average, 20th. Offensive line banged up now. Left tackle back up for 4 games. O-line, middle of the pack PFF. So, but I always thought it was easier with Mahomes and Lamar Jackson to be stylistically fans, right? Like Lamar, the words you would use, dynamic, fast, explosive. Yeah, that feels like an MVP. Or Mahomes, left-handed throws, biggest arm in the game, ad-libbing off script. With Drake Maye, it's structural. He plays within rhythm. He's very accurate. He's durable. He's tough. He's an excellent leader. He gets the ball out quickly. It's hard to embrace that stuff. It doesn't feel as great. And a lot of people have said, well, they've got an easy schedule. You play the games in front of you. Shocker, the Jets in Miami weren't good again. That's not his fault. Brady led that division for years. Buffalo, the Jets, and Miami, all 3 were bad. At least Buffalo's viable now. So, and in the 8 quarters they played the Bills, New England and May were better in 6 of them. So it's a lot of times when you're doing, like the NBA has always been about, to a large degree, style. I mean, Westbrook, is he a winning player? But he's a Hall of Famer, right? Like, it's style matters. But it does in the NFL too. We like sacks from our guys up front. We like our quarterbacks. For years and years when Brady was in New England, I mean, to the end, I was reading articles, and you could tell people in the building, anonymous sources were saying, hey, a lot of guys could win here. A lot of quarterbacks could win here. Yeah, could a lot of those guys go to Tampa and win a Super Bowl first year? Could a lot of those guys do that? No, Brady did. So, and Tom was on this show and talked about, you know, one of the elements where he and Drake may be similar.
With Drake, he has the physical ability, he has the size, but I think in terms of physical skill set, his downfield passing ability is awesome. So, you know, Josh McDaniels has done incredible job this year for the Patriots. Drake is running the same system that I was in. I know how good that system is for quarterbacks, how Josh does teach these young quarterbacks all the different reasons why he's doing what he's doing, why we're trying to beat this coverage, or how we're going to protect to give you the best chance to be successful.
Drake has Foxborough'd from Tom. He's got 12 games, 100-plus passer rating this year. That ties Tom Brady. And I also think a lot of times if you're a really good coordinator, you go to be a head coach and it doesn't work, we think less of you. Josh McDaniels has been the best coordinator. He's the OC now for the Patriots. There's an argument he's been the best coordinator 15 of the last 20 years in the NFL. maybe 18 of 20. And so, you know, the Patriots, to me, feel like same owner, same OC, same stylistic quarterback. The difference is Vrabel is more player-friendly than Belichick, but like Bill, super smart, culture builder, very demanding, doesn't pander. The difference is he's more player-friendly, which you have to be in 2025 and beyond.
All right, Drake Maye for MVP. Can you comprehend it? I certainly can. I've been consistently articulating that Drake Maye is an elite talent, a special player. The irony is palpable. Recently, Patrick Mahomes' ardent supporters were incensed, demanding, "How can you possibly make such a claim?" My assertion was, if we incorporate variables like health, contractual value, and youth into the equation, a compelling argument exists for selecting Drake Maye over any other quarterback in the league at this precise juncture. I then referenced Mahomes, among others. The backlash was immediate. Mahomes has won 3 Super Bowls. How dare you? And yet, here we are. Drake Maye is the MVP frontrunner. Patrick Mahomes is currently recovering from a significant knee injury. I'm not certain what additional clarification is required. The stylistic comparison to Tom Brady seems misplaced. I'm unclear on the commentator's rationale there. The improvisational off-script plays Maye consistently executes are remarkable. Consider this hypothetical. If Tom Brady possessed his identical quarterbacking genius but wasn't perpetually blessed by fortune, if he didn't play for 2 decades and accumulate rings relentlessly, if his career followed a more conventional arc, achieving 3 Super Bowl victories over a standard tenure, he'd still be the same caliber of on-field performer. The legendary status stems from the unprecedented longevity and trophy haul. In that alternate, less mythologized scenario, one could more feasibly posit Drake Maye has the potential to surpass that version of Tom Brady. However, given Brady's actual, almost supernatural career, such a statement about any quarterback sounds ludicrous. It's equally audacious regarding Mahomes currently, because the requisite achievement is, you must win 4 more Super Bowls and play another 15 years. Good luck. The proposition sounds insane. That's why I frame it within a very specific, conditional context. Tom Brady's greatness, absent the Bill Belichick synergy, playing for different franchises, without every conceivable break. Within that constructed scenario, one could entertain the notion of Maye's potential superiority. But to state it outright feels ridiculous, as it implies, does he win 8 Super Bowls? No rational person casually attributes that to any player. That is not my argument. Honestly, I'm striving to depict this as clearly as possible. Drake Maye has been astonishingly consistent. He has, without dispute, been the most reliable quarterback in the NFL this season. His peak performance has been stratospheric, and frankly, his baseline performance has been exceptionally high as well. Conversely, we've witnessed the floor collapse for other premier quarterbacks, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. We have not observed that from Drake Maye. It simply hasn't occurred. Some individuals are aggressively promoting a narrative favoring Stafford for MVP, seemingly resistant to Maye's candidacy. Their critique points to a supposed struggle against the Falcons. Struggle? Examine the performance. 19 completions on 29 attempts, 259 yards, 8.9 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns. He threw 1 interception. The horror, a quarterback turning the ball over occasionally. He posted a 102.5 passer rating, added 8 carries for 20 yards, had a fumble, secured the victory, and performed adequately, certainly outperforming Matthew Stafford in that same week. I never proclaimed every performance would be flawless or spectacular. This is Drake Maye's second professional season. The comparison is to Matthew Stafford in what feels like his 18th season. What is the basis for this? At this point, I'm uncertain if Maye has even completed a full 17-game schedule. This was his team's 9th game. I forget his total from last season, but if he has a full season's experience, it's minimal. I refuse to equate that with the resumes of Josh Allen and Matthew Stafford. What is the discourse here? Drake Maye is throwing to targets like Demario Douglas, Ramondre Stevenson, Jaheim Bell, Hunter Henry, Juju Smith-Schuster, Keyshawn Boot, and Tyquan Thornton. The sole established star is arguably Devontae Parker. Is he targeting Puka Nacua or Cooper Kupp? Unlikely. Thus, the distorted conversations are somewhat amusing. Criticisms about facing a less challenging schedule ring hollow. The individual has accounted for approximately 30 touchdowns, 35 total if we count rushing. Let me verify momentarily. He boasts a 71.7% completion rate and over 4,200 passing yards. Matthew Stafford's figures, 65.2% completion, roughly 4,450 yards. Maye has a superior yards per attempt average, 8.9 versus 8.0. One could counter that Stafford has 42 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. Yes, and a significant factor is Davante Adams being an absolute red zone monster. How has the offense looked in Adams' absence? Is their red zone efficiency identical? No, it is not. Observers selectively focus on metrics that bolster their preferred narrative. Consider this. Drake Maye has been pressured substantially more, 222 instances versus Stafford's 186. His passer rating stands at 112.9. Stafford's is 108.8. Now, incorporate the rushing dimension. Drake Maye has contributed 409 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground, bringing his total touchdowns to 34. He has more total yards from scrimmage and only 8 fewer total touchdowns than Stafford. Matthew Stafford's rushing contribution? Essentially 0. I'm fairly certain it's negative. Allow me to locate the exact statistic. It's so negligible, it's challenging to find. Scanning the list. There he is. 2 yards. He nearly breached positive territory, almost, and 0 rushing touchdowns. Drake Maye is competing for the top playoff seed. He secured his division championship. Matthew Stafford's team is likely destined for the 5th or 6th seed. If not for the Packers' collapse, potentially even the 7th. If the MVP choice is between Drake Maye and Matthew Stafford, the selection is unequivocally Maye. When you factor in all the ancillary responsibilities placed upon a modern quarterback, the gap isn't particularly narrow, especially after the most recent outcomes. A 71.7% completion rate is extraordinary. Examining his average depth of target, ADOT, relative to completion percentage is revealing. If we rank quarterbacks by completion percentage, Maye sits atop the list. His ADOT surpasses that of every other quarterback with a remotely comparable completion rate until you descend far down the list to the 18th ranked passer, Stafford. This indicates he maintains the highest completion percentage while throwing downfield more aggressively than any peer with similar efficiency. That is genuinely remarkable. Even more compelling is the adjusted completion percentage, which accounts for dropped passes and throwaways. Stafford's adjusted rate is 73.8%. Drake Maye's is 79.5%, despite a significantly higher ADOT. Who leads the league in passer rating on deep throws, 20-plus air yards? Drake Maye, 132.5 rating, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, 55% completion. Stafford has 10 deep touchdowns with 1 pick. Caleb Williams also has 10 touchdowns, but 2 interceptions. Sam Darnold has 8 deep touchdowns with 2 interceptions and a 60% completion rate on such throws. He's been exceptionally accurate downfield, though he benefits from a weapon like Jackson Smith-Njigba. Nevertheless, Sam Darnold has likely been the most precise deep ball passer. His adjusted completion percentage on deep throws is 60%. Maye's is 56.9%, and Stafford's is 51.3%. These are profoundly impressive metrics. What additional evidence could the MVP electorate possibly require? I am at a loss. Drake Maye is the MVP. He will win the award. Is he likely to underperform against the Miami Dolphins? Will he even play significant snaps in that potentially inconsequential season finale? What strategic incentive exists? Even if the Patriots lose that final game, the context will be understood. It likely holds minimal consequence for their playoff positioning. I cannot conceive of any plausible scenario where Drake Maye is deprived of the MVP at this juncture. The velocity of change in the NFL is staggering. One moment, the Patriots are an afterthought. The next, they possess the presumptive most valuable player in Drake Maye's second season. It's mind-boggling. Those are my perspectives. I am exceedingly eager to hear yours. What are your thoughts on Drake Maye? Should he be the MVP? Do you believe he will secure the award? The perennial question posed is he already the premier quarterback in the NFL? These media segments adore posing provocative questions they never genuinely answer, which is endlessly frustrating. You watch the entire analysis and they never address their own headline query. So, inform me of your stance. I read every single comment. Whether you concur or dissent, let's engage in dialogue. Let's have passionate debates, but ultimately, let's enjoy the exchange. Please consider subscribing. We are cultivating a phenomenal community here, and I would be delighted for you to participate. I aim to construct something we all feel a genuine connection to, something we are authentically excited to be part of. I believe we are making significant progress toward that goal. Please also remember to approve this video. It genuinely enhances visibility and assists the platform's algorithm. Thank you immensely. Until next time.